We're reading the one, the only, drum roll please, Mary Poppins! Yay! Awesome! And hello there, my name is Bert. I'm sort of a man about town, you might say. I do what suits me, sell kites, clean chimneys, or paint pictures on sidewalks. Today it suits me to be a one-man band. Why don't you come with me? London is grand this time of year. Well now, here we are at Cherry Tree Lane, and over there is number 17, where the Banks family live. Not too long ago, something very unusual and very wonderful happened to the Banks home. Let me tell you the story. Mr. Banks, you see, worked all day in the bank. Mrs. Banks was always busy with club meetings and such, so Jane and Michael, the Banks children, had to have a nanny, which is a person who looks after children. James and Michael had several nannies, and on this particular day, the latest one had just left, informing Mr. and Mrs. Banks that they had to find someone else to look after their little monsters. Jane and Michael weren't really naughty. The nanny simply misunderstood. She thought the children had run away from her, where all they'd done was follow their kites. Constable Joan tried to explain when he brought the children home, but the nanny wouldn't listen. Now Mr. and Mrs. Banks had to find another nanny. The way to do that was to place an advertisement in the newspaper, calling for someone firm and sensible. Jane and Michael, of course, they had their own idea about the kind of person who should be their nanny, and to help their father, they wrote an advertisement for him. Wanted a nanny. Must have cheery disposition. Must have cheery wanted a nanny. Must have cheery disposition, rosy cheeks, and be willing to play games. When Mr. Banks saw the children's advertisement, he called it ridiculous nonsense. He tore it up, threw it in the fireplace, and wrote the advertisement himself. But late that night, a strange breeze blew the Bank's chimney, tying the pieces up to the night sky. The next morning, when Jane and Michael got up, the line of nannies they saw from their windows stretched clear across the block. They were all waiting to be imbued by Mr. Banks, and a firm and sensible lot they were, not a rosy cheek among them. Jane looked at her nannies in dismay. I don't understand, Michael. They're not what we advertised for at all. But just then a wind started blowing from the east. Down Cherry Tree Lane, the east wind blew, growing stronger and stronger. Finally, it picked up all those firm and sensible nannies and blew them away before Mr. Banks even knew they were there. Every last one of them was gone. Oh my gosh! This is a very interesting movie. Firm and sensible women flying down from the sky. Whoa! Jane and Michael watched in glee from the nursery window. Then, riding towards them on the east wind, a person holding a black umbrella approached. Oh, look, Michael! It's her, our nanny, rosy cheeks and everything. The rosy-cheeked person landed on on the doorstep of number 17, she promptly marched in and said, Mr. Banks, I am the new nanny. And before Mr. Banks even knew what was happening, she stepped up the banister to her nursery. My name is Mary Poppins, she said, taking off her coat and hat. Come on, children, we'll begin a game called Let's Tidy Up the Nursery. Ooh, this is Mary Poppins. And do you see on page 10, she's flying on with her umbrella, and there are so many stars, and she has this super chic bag and flower. And her hat, they're both floral. Beautiful. Jane didn't like the sound of that. Are you sure it's a game? Are you sure it's a game, Mary Poppins? That depends on your point of view, you see. You see, in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You'll find the fun and snap. You'll find the fun and snap. The job's a game. Mary Poppins snapped her fingers, and sure enough, Let's Tidy Up the Nursery became a magical game. Toys put themselves away, beds made themselves, clothes hung themselves up, and soon the nursery was neat as a pin. The children were delighted. Mary Poppins, you're wonderful. Of course, and now we must get some sleep. Tomorrow we're having an outing in the park. The next day it suited me to be a sidewalk artist, and I was drawing pictures in chalk when I looked up and saw Mary Poppins and the children. You're lucky children indeed. When you're with Mary Poppins, magic just seems happening. Now how about a bit of magic right now, Mary Poppins? No one's looking. Well, if we must, we must. Now line up and jump. Suddenly we found ourselves inside one of my sidewalk pictures at the county fair. All four of us took a ride on the carousel, and then Mary Poppins rode her horse right off the carousel, and ours followed. We joined the fox hunt and ended the horse race. Oh, we had a jolly time. That evening, when Mary Poppins tucked her children in, Jane had a request. Oh, Mary Poppins, you have the most wonderful day. Promise you'll never leave us. That is a pie crust promise. Easily made, easily broken. I shall stay until the wind changes. Now go to sleep. Tomorrow you'll go an outing with your father to the bank where he works. Jane and Michael were surprised. Really? Father has never taken us anywhere before. Indeed, he hasn't been too pleased with Mary Poppins when he had heard about the children's recent adventure. Really, Mary Poppins? The children's outings should be practical, educational. And Mary Poppins agreed. I quite see your point, Mr. Banks. Tomorrow the children shall be at your side. Bright and early the next morning, the children set off for the bank with their father. Michael had brought some coins with him to buy food for the birds, but Mr. Banks wouldn't hear of that. You must put your money in the bank, where it will earn interest. Give it to me. All of a sudden, the outing with their father lost all its promise of fun, and Jane and Michael got let go of his hands. They ran off and got themselves lost. Oh no! Oh no! It was a good thing they ran into me. That did suited me to be a chimney sweep. And the children are happy to see me, but they were still upset. Oh, but Father tried to take my outlaws money. He doesn't like us at all. I put a stop to that kind of talk. Your father loves you very much. It's him I feel sorry for. There he is all day in that cold, heartless bank, and nothing to keep him company but money. That made them think twice. Jane and Michael decided to apologise. Come on then, I said. It's my day to clean the chimney. I'll take you home. But before I could even get started, Mary Poppins had a surprise for us. In a twinkling, she whisked us all up the chimney and down onto the rooftop. We gazed over the rooftops of London. What a beautiful sight, said I. And who gets to see it from up here but the birds, the stars, and the chimney sweeps? We danced and sang and had a regular party. And you're with Mary Poppins, magical things seemed to happen. Jane and Mary, so much better after that party on the rooftop. And then they went straight to their father. Michael offered him coins in the bank. Mr. Bank smiled. Your money, Michael. I was only doing what I thought was best for you. But now I see that money isn't that important. About having fun that comes at your age. From now on, I'm going to spend a lot of time with you. But as the bank gave the children a hug and went off to make them count. Then the whole bank's family went to the park together. For their first time in ever so long, they flew their kites and had a grand time. The winds had changed and now everyone wanted to fly a kite. I was the only one who noticed Mary Poppins sailing away on the west wind. Goodbye, Mary Poppins. Don't stay away too long. And the end. Wasn't that a great movie? Well, movie, but kind of like the song from Mary Poppins. Let's go fly a kite. Well, anyway, I guess the movie's over now, so I should go back home from the movie theater. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories, scratch tutorials, and sometimes movies.